this lap. You can do it. It's 4.7 seconds. 5.6 seconds.
It's a one of a kind, only in the DTM.
Yes, man, you did it.
Thank you, guys.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah!
Hello and welcome to DTM. After Spielberg and a summer break of 4 weeks, we were now heading east towards Moscow. And here we are at the Moscow International Raceway together with the championship points leader. It's Matthias Ekström, and you are heading towards your third title. You're going to be with Klaus Ludwig together, the second best in DTM history. First is Ben Snyder, and you're going to be second, maybe.
Yeah, it's still a long way to go. I've learned a lot in my 15 years, and one thing is not to celebrate before you hear the last Swedish national anthem in Swedish. So for the moment, I have a good feeling with the car. We're making good races, but still it's way long to go. And in the history, maybe it would have been easier, but now with the performance weights, you have to stay humble until the very last meter in the last race.
You're P6 in qualifying?
Yeah, I think P6 is okay. I made a mistake in the last lap in the last corner. Without this mistake, I could have been between 2 and 3, something around there. But still, P6 is okay, especially when I consider it was my mistake. So a little bit more to wish for sure for the race.
So the best of luck for you and for the race. And we take a look back what happened 4 weeks ago in Spielberg.
The final lap of the race on Sunday. An unexpected radio call.
Oh, sheep in the house.
A call that sparked the biggest DTM scandal in history. But first, everything in the right order. On Saturday, Edoardo Mortara was the man of the day. From the second lap already, the Italian controlled the field. Mortara pulled clear from his rivals, had an advantage of over 3 seconds at times, and went on to score a dominant win. For the Italian, it was his third victory in DTM. For Audi, it was their 72nd.
Ich war glücklich.
I was fortunate today. Lady Luck was on my side. It is great.
Sie ist super.
On Sunday, the scandal on the final lap. All of a sudden, a clear instruction by Audi's head of motorsport, Wolfgang Ullrich.
Oh, sheep in the house.
Timo, push him out. The instruction was addressed to Audi driver Timo Scheider. He ran into the back of Wickens. The Canadian hit Wehrlein, and both Mercedes slid into the gravel trap. Matthias Ekström benefited and took the championship lead at the halfway point of the season. Points leader Wehrlein was out.
It was clearly on purpose. We all heard a radio comment of somebody at Audi telling Timo to push the guy in front of him off.
The result. The Sporting Court of the German Motorsport Federation imposed a fine of 200,000 euros for Audi, the highest ever fine to date to be imposed by the DMSB. Ullrich has been banned from the pit lane until the end of the season, and Audi lost the 62 points scored in the second race. Timo Scheider has been banned for the 2 races at Moscow. As a replacement, 21-year-old Formula 3 driver Antonio Giovinazzi was taken on board in the Audi team.
And we are back standing in the grid together with the reigning champ. And as we take a look back in history in DTM, the last 2 years, always the pole setter won. And this year, it's Marco Whitman.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good start in the weekend with the pole position today. And of course, I will try to put this in the victory. I think it will be not easy, the race, but for sure we have the best position to win the race.
The track seems to fit your BMW.
Yeah, I mean, last year Maxime was able to win the race. This year we are again on pole position, which is nice. Of course, we need to consider also a bit the weight, but now we take it like it is, and we try our best to score as many points as possible.
Marco, thanks a lot and best of luck to you. And now it's up to you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Ollie Sittler down there as we look at the starting grid for this race 11 here in Moscow off the back of such a drama in Austria. So Marco Wittmann, the man that Ollie was talking to, P1. Alongside him is Pascal Wehrlein. Jamie Green is P3, then it's Timo Glock. Good qualifying from Timo in the BMW. Great qualifying from Tom Blomqvist to put that car on P5. We heard from Matthias Ekström. He's perhaps marginally disappointed with P6. Then it's Bruno Spangler and Miguel Molina. On the next row of the grid, we see Daniel Juncker-Deyer and Nico Müller rounding out the top 10 here in Moscow. Then it's Adrian Tombe and Eduardo Mortara, P11 and P12. Then we see Paul de Resta and Mike Rockenfeller, P13 and 14. Maximilian Goertz and last year's Moscow winner, Maxime Martin, mired down there, P16 for race 1. Antonio Felix da Costa and Lucas Auer on the next row. Then we see Antonio Giovinazzi, as we've heard, he's in for Timo Scheider, and he has Gary Paffett for company. And Augusto Farfus and Robert Wickens are on the next row of the grid. And rounding out the rear, it's Martin Tomczyk and Christian Vitoris. So the head of Mercedes DTM is Uli Fritz, and he's with Ollie now.
Yeah, it's only 2 Mercedes in the top 10, but Pascal Wehrlein on P2. What's your opinion about that?
Yes, I mean, there are 2 hearts beating in my chest in the end. Of course, it's great for Pascal to be on P2 here. But of course, we cannot be happy with only 2 cars in the top 10. Yeah, we need to work on our qualifying performance here and make the best out of it for the race now.
We have seen the issue what happened at Spielberg, especially to Pascal. What's Mercedes' opinion to that?
Yeah, I think we have discussed a lot about that now, and yeah, I would just say I'm a little bit disappointed or sad for Pascal and also Robert. I mean, they got pushed out of the race, and yeah, obviously those are points that are missing for the championship. But however, that is a decision of the sports court, so we have to take it how it is, and now we focus and concentrate on this race and the upcoming races in Nürburgring, Oschersleben and Hockenheim. And yeah, I think this topic has been discussed long enough, so it's good that we can now focus on racing.
And we will do that. Thanks a lot, Uli Fritz, and back to Dave.
Cheers, Ollie. So Uli Fritz then, of course, Pascal Wehrlein is at P3 in the points and would have bagged valuable points in Austria. Peter Mucker looks on then at the car of Daniel Juncker-Deyer, who's starting down there in P9 in the Petronas Mercedes AMG C63 DTM. And as Uli Fritz was saying, happy with Wehrlein to be P2, but perhaps the rest of the qualifying performance from Mercedes not where Uli Fritz would like it to be. P8 for Miguel Molina then in the Audi RS5 DTM. Look of concentration and focus on Molina's face then as we go inboard into the car. Of course, the all-new DTM this year with 2 races per weekend. This, the first of the 2. Bruno Spangler then, the BMW Bank car, is P7 for Bruno Spangler. Been on the podium this year, but by Bruno's standards, perhaps been a quietish year. Let's see what he can deliver from P7 on the grid for this race here at Moscow. And then Matthias Ekström, who in conversation with Ollie Sittler earlier was saying that he felt he had perhaps between P2 and P3 in the car, but for a mistake that he made, and that's put him down there, P6. Not perhaps where he would like to be, but still feels a lot is achievable from there. And a great qualifying from Tom Blomqvist, who puts his BMW on P5. DTM rookie this year, Tom Blomqvist, P5. A fantastic shot from the grandstand down on the grid, assembling here. And there is the grid in full for you. It's Whitman and Wehrlein on the front row. Staggered grid, though, of course, here. Then it's Jamie Green and Timo Glock, Tom Blomqvist, Matthias Ekström. Then we see Bruno Spangler and Miguel Molina. Daniel Juncker-Deyer and Nico Müller, Adrian Tombe and Eduardo Mortara. And then on the second page, as you can see, from 13 through to 24, it's de Resta, Rockenfeller, Goertz, Martin, Felix da Costa, Auer, Giovinazzi, Paffett, Farfus, Wickens, Tomczyk and Vitoris, rounding out the back. Still some cloud around, and free practice this morning was upset a little bit by rain. Qualifying was in the dry, and at the moment all looks set for a dry one as we look at P4 on the grid and Timo Glock. Jens Marquardt is the boss of BMW DTM. He's with Olli Sittler now.
And we had Maxime Martin in the last year winning in a BMW. We have now Marco Whitman on pole, as we have 4 of the BMWs in the top 10. So it seems to be a track that fits your car very well.
Yeah, I mean, last year we had Maxime doing his maiden win here, and Marco was second. So Marco now on pole, which I think is a good situation. 4 BMWs up front here is good for us. And yeah, let's see what the race brings. Definitely looks much better than the last weekend.
And when we take a short look back to Spielberg, it was the biggest issue ever in DTM history, what happened between the Mercedes and the Audis. What's the BMW opinion about the judgment?
Well, I mean, first of all, BMW wasn't involved in the incident at all, so difficult to say in that respect. But yeah, was a judgment done by the DMSB, has to be respected, was certainly a tough one. But I think it's important now to look forward. We have 4 more important race weekends to get through, and I think this is what we should concentrate on now.
And then we will see a good race. Thanks a lot, Jens Marquardt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Olli, very much. A clean-shaven Jens Marquardt now, it has to be said. Pole position then goes the way of the current champion, the Ice Watch liveried car of Marco Whitman. As Jens Marquardt said, on the podium last year, didn't take the win, but has put himself in the perfect position for this race 1 to do so. On pole position, Marco Whitman. Alongside him on the staggered grid is Pascal Wehrlein. In the Drivers' Championship, then, it's Wehrlein who is P3, and he has both Matthias Ekstrom and Eduardo Mortara behind him on the grid. So, if anything, Pascal Wehrlein, perhaps with the opportunity to max out on the points here. Jamie Green is right behind him in the points, and just behind him on the grid as well. Dieter Gas from Audi is with Olli Sittler.
And Audi has, with 2 guys, the leaders in the points table with Matthias Ekström and Mortara, and you have Jamie Green in front in the grid. So what's your opinion?
Well, I think we're quite well placed in the championship. We have still, I would say, 3 contenders for the driver championship. Jamie is the one that you mentioned who is 4th on the grid. Matthias is not far away, so I think it's important to have a clean race and get back some points today, some good points.
And as, with you as well, a brief look back what happened at Spielberg, and we got the judgment in the last week. So what does Audi say to all of this?
I think it's important for the sport that we do have this judgment, and that we can go back now to motor racing and do what we're here for.
So we'll see what we get. Thanks a lot, Dieter Gas, and back to Dave.
Thanks, Olli. So Dieter Gas then saying, as indeed all the manufacturers have said, let's get back to racing. It's what we do best. As we look at Augusto Farfus in the car there, going from much further down the grid than he would like, P21. What a fine sight it is here at the Moscow Raceway. The sun at the moment is shining, quite a bit of wind around, and just before we came on the air we noticed a number of the marshals here at the Moscow Raceway pulling up some of the AstroTurf which aligns the circuit. I think it was from the exit of turn 6. Now that has all been removed. There was a loose piece there, and we've seen in the past loose Astro can get pulled up and cause all sorts of problems, so they took the decision just before the start of the lineup to rip the Astro up. And as I say, it was between turns 6 and 7. And that has now gone as the cars roar away on their formation lap. Then tyre smoke from the Pascal Wehrlein car, that's for sure. Some tyre smoke more than from Marco Whitman. So as they make their way around this Moscow circuit, in for a thrilling race, there's no question about that. Timo Glock, Tom Blomqvist with excellent qualifying from Tom, DTM rookie this year. Here's the grid in full once again for you at the bottom of the screen. It's Whitman from Wehrlein, Green, Glock, Blomqvist, Ekstrom, Spengler and Molina. Then we'll see Juncker, Deya, Muller, Tombe, Mortara, De Resta, Rockenfeller and Gertz and Maxime Martin who, following his victory last year, would have hoped to have qualified better than P16. Then it's Antonio Felix da Costa, Lucas Auer, Antonio Giovinazzi in for Timo Scheider. Then it's Pafet, Farfus, Wickens, Tomczyk and Vitoris. There's the Nico Muller car, Adrian Tombe, who, of course, last year ended up in the gravel in the DTM race, courtesy of his brand mate, Mike Rockenfeller. One of the talking points of the race last year, that's for sure. Tombe will be hoping to finish better than he did in that race. The long run uphill now as they head towards the final turn. And there you can see the 3.93 kilometer circuit, the lap record held by Miguel Molina. So the Ice Watch BMW then rounds the final turn before taking up grid position, as all the other cars will behind will await the green flag from the marshal right at the rear of the grid. Burnouts going on as they head towards the grid now. The excitement begins to build and the anticipation as well of this, the next DTM race here in Moscow Raceway. The commentary booth high in the grandstand, which means the sound is absolutely electric. The noise of all the cars as they rev, and you can actually feel the floor of the commentary booth vibrating as we go into the manufacturers' garages. Dieter Gas there. There's Uli Fritz for Mercedes-Benz and Jens Marquardt for BMW. All the team principals with all eyes on the start of this race. We throw the lights to the top of the screen. The engine note rises, so does the excitement and the anticipation. And the lights are out and we go away and racing. Good start from Marco Whitman. Looks like a brilliant start from Jamie Green as well. He's blocked out though by Pascal Wehrlein, who maintains that P2 position as the rest of the pack come through. We've got a spinner already. Several cars run out wide. And that is trouble for Molina. Now Paul de Resta having gone round also. And significant damage there, and we await to see. Yes, safety car has been thrown already, and I'm hardly surprised by that. Now we saw that not quite unfold. Doubtless we will see it in replay in just moments from now, but it's the right at the very start, not even one lap completed for Christian Vitoris. And the Vitoris car now with flames out front, and Christian himself takes to the fire extinguishing duties. So that, sadly, is very much the end of, and still the flames are coming out of the front of that Mercedes-Benz. Remarkably, Christian Vitoris, the racing driver, is still dealing with the fire. Absolutely extraordinary that the marshals are allowing him to do that. Of course, protection of his steed for tomorrow's race. The quicker he can deal with it, the better. So all the cars avoid the carnage out there. The carnage that is Molina's car and Vitoris' car. Right, let's try and pick out the pieces of this then in replay. So Jamie Green straight across there, but Pascal Wehrlein had just got the edge on him, hadn't he? So there Molina gets turned around, and I'm just guessing that Vitoris completely unsighted, yes. Absolutely straight into the back. So Molina got turned around then, and Christian Vittoris, right from the very, very back of the grid, was just completely unsighted and truthfully had absolutely nowhere to go. Utterly furious, as you can imagine. Significant damage to that Mercedes and significant damage to the Audi as well. It took a huge hit from the Vittoris car. We're on board with Eduardo Mortara. Now it was Molina on the back of Muller, I think that is, that sent him around. And there the firefighting Christian Vittoris at work. So safety car deployed before even one lap completed in this first race of 2 for DTM here at Moscow for 2015. And there Christian Vittoris makes his way back. Molina has already done so. Doubtless Ollie Settler will get hold of them for us in due course. Slightly concerned with the way Christian Vittoris is walking, whether he's got a slight limp there. Looked at by the medical team, that's for sure. Perhaps damaged his knee in that impact. It was quite an impact, wasn't it? Straight into the back of the Molina car. So Christian Vittoris knows his race is done, as does Miguel then. Well, remarkably, the Molina car is towed away without too much of a problem. On board with Augusto Farfus now. Farfus gets just a little tag from the Lucas Auer car ahead. Farfus avoids the spinning Molina machine. And here we see it again, and that's where Molina just went round. And that, unfortunately, is the debris that was left following that incident with Christian Vittoris completely unable to avoid. Ooh, Gary Paffett with a deft move there to avoid the spinning Molina car as well. And then further on, there were still plenty of bumps and scrapes continuing. So there, the heavily damaged Vittoris car is taken away. Just some hard work with the marshals and a broom now, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to racing. The safety car will be brought back in, but that is hefty damage, as you can see, to the Vittoris car. Safety car remains out until the recovery vehicle is well out of the way, that's for sure. And as I say, I suspect the marshals will have to sweep away some of the broken carbon fibre on track as well. So the order then: Whitman, Wehrlein, Green, Glock, Ekstrom, Spengler, Junkadea, Blomqvist, Muller, and Mortara the top 10. And the clock continues to count, and there just some of the debris that, as I mentioned, is probably going to have to be swept away to safety. It's off the racing line, that's for sure, but nonetheless. Well, rather than swept, being blown away. "32.5 minutes of the race remain as the cars continue to make their way around the circuit behind the safety car. Miguel Molina is one of the parties involved in that, and he's with Ollie Sittler now.
Bad luck for you. What has happened from your side and point of view?
First corner, trying to not hit Blomqvist, I lost the car, and then Vietoris was coming from, he could not see me, and it was a big impact, but everything is fine.
So you're all right?
Everything is good.
And looking forward to the next race? You have to forget this one.
For sure, looking forward for tomorrow. We have a good car, so let's hope tomorrow to have a good qualifying and start a bit in front.
And better luck tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Back to you.
Cheers, Ollie. So it was Blomqvist, actually, rather than Muller that he was tagged by. And fair play to Molina. He put his hands up and says, you know, I lost the car. Vietoris had nowhere to go to avoid. He was one of those really, really difficult situations that happen from time to time in racing. And fortunately, right at the start of this, we see Molina and Vietoris out. So Molina, as he says, doing his best to avoid contact with Tom Blomqvist, and in so doing, lost the car, spun it around, Vietoris unsighted. And as Molina has said, it was a big impact. And as an after effect of that, also Paul di Resta, I think, went round 2 because he's now running in P22 and started P13. So under investigation, that incident then between car 17 and car number 8. Car of Molnar and Christian Vietoris. Track sweeper out there in addition to the blowers as well. And there we can see the incident, which was between Paul di Resta and Mike Rockefeller, that sent Paul di Resta around. That's also under investigation. So there is Christian Vietoris, and as I say, just whether he's damaged his knee. Uli Fritz is straight over there to make sure he's okay. Certainly limping along in the pit lane, wasn't he? So no news yet on with regards to when the safety car is in. I would think it's going to be pretty imminent, because we've seen the track sweeper out there. Both the cars have been got away. It's just the debris that's been swept and blown away now. And although after saying that, there's still quite a lot out there, and the clock continues to count down. Under half an hour of the race left now. So Blomqvist and Muller running together, P8 and P9, and initially I thought it was Molina tagging Blomqvist, but and there we can see the Mike Rockefeller and Paul di Resta incident. And also out on the grass there is Maxime Martin, who lost a huge handful of places, but Paul di Resta losing the most and ends up right at the back of the pack. So the marshalling team continue their debris clearing work. And as soon as the race officials are happy that all has been done, then the safety car will be allowed back into the pit lane and the race will resume. Lights are still on the safety car at the moment, and the safety car is now coming in this lap. Had confirmation of that, so lights go out.
In this lap, safety car in this lap. So you're racing from just after turn 13. It's the finish line you're racing from.
So there is Marco Whitman. And just information being fed to us by our director that Christian Vietoris has gone off to the medical centre just to be checked over, and therefore not in a position to be able to give any interviews. Clearly, his health is the most important thing. So Marco Whitman then leads them away now, and as they cross the line, we are back to racing. We have 27 and a bit minutes of racing to come. It is DTM Race 1 here at the Moscow Raceway. First part of the race very much affected by that incident between Christian Vitouris and Miguel Molina. Marco Wittmann, Pascal Wehrlein, Jamie Green, then it's Timo Glock and Matthias Ekström, P5 now. Wehrlein, of course, desperate to keep both Jamie Green and Matthias Ekström behind him so that he can max the points haul in the race in the championship, which is led by Matthias Ekström at the moment with Edo Mortara P2 and Pascal Wehrlein P3. So as the cars come screaming through, then this race at last really gets going, because not one lap was completed before the safety car was brought out. Nico Müller and Eduardo Mortara having a bit of a ding-dong there. They were pretty close together at the moment, though Marco Wittmann has done what he needs to do, and he's getting up the road. And Pascal Wehrlein is having to defend from Jamie Green as they make the run up now to the final turn. It's quite an uphill section here. And Lucas Auer and Maximilian Goertz together there as well. A train of cars behind Adrien Tombe too. Tombe with Antonio Felix da Costa for company. Gary Paffett making great moves up the grid and up the order as well. Rockenfeller on Antonio Felix da Costa and goes through. Bumping and barging between the two, and Gary Paffett up there in the mix as well, and Gary Paffett on Antonio Felix da Costa. He's got Robert Wickens right behind him. And Lucas Auer in there also. We're on board with Gary Paffett now. Fantastic shot of him at work then in the Mercedes-Benz. Driving from Gary, who will want to make amends for a less than perfect qualifying from his side. Mike Rockenfeller ahead of Adrien Tombe, and then Paffett right on the back of the Antonio Felix da Costa car, the car between Molina and Vitouris, then to be investigated after the race. Race leader Marco Wittmann, P2, Pascal Wehrlein stays crucially within 7/10 of a second of the race leader. So Wittmann and Wehrlein seemingly getting away a little bit from Jamie Green. Radio from Timo Glock. Didn't hear too much of that.
Get to go 1.1.
1.1 then, the gap between Wehrlein and Jamie Green. There is Jamie Green, then it's Timo Glock, Matthias Ekström, Bruno Spangler, Daniel Juncadella, Tom Blomqvist, Edo Mortara, Nico Müller, then it's Mike Rockenfeller. But here's the race leader, Marco Wittmann, who's been chased all the way by Pascal Wehrlein, who continues to keep within 7 or 8 tenths of the race leader. The damage to the front end of the Adrien Tombe car. Great low-down camera shot that we can bring you there. So around the final turn, Wehrlein continuing to take the chase to Marco Wittmann. He's brought it down by a couple of tenths. It's just under 7 tenths. And now Pascal Wehrlein is going to have the benefit of DRS as DRS is enabled. Marco Wittmann, of course, won't have that because he's not got a car ahead of him. So Pascal Wehrlein now getting as close as he can to Marco Whitman, and Whitman is really going to have to go into defensive mode now. Jamie Green, of course, is going to have the benefit of it on Pascal Wehrlein as well. So this is really going to liven up now. And we only have 22 minutes left. So Tombe with that damage then on the front of his car, who's running in P12. Then it's Antonio Felix da Costa P13 and Gary Paffett P14. Paffett looking the most lively of those at the moment as we go back on board with Pascal Wehrlein chasing down Marco Whitman now. Through the sections of turns 10, 11. Then back out onto the long run up to the final turn. Now this is where DRS can really play. So Whitman being warned that DRS has been enabled. And Pascal Wehrlein will now be on an absolute charge. Just adjusts his brake bias, you could see there. And now, will he dive up the inside of Marco Whitman? Is he quite close enough? I'm not sure he is, but he's right on the tail of Marco Whitman now. So use that lap perhaps as a warm-up for what is to come. Between Pascal Wehrlein and Marco Whitman, the gap is narrowed now to just 0.3. So Wehrlein driving for all he is worth. Marco Whitman, the pressure really on him now to defend that lead. And he's doing so well currently. Timo Glock is going to be under pressure from Matthias Ekström, no question about that. And there you can see the Whitman and Wehrlein just have built up a bit of a cushion over the P3 Jamie Green as going for a move there, which has taken both Ekström and Timo Glock out. Well, there's no way.
I saw it. You're okay? Are you okay, Timo?
Well, we were pausing.
What the fuck did you do? Do you hear me, Matthias? Don't know if you can get back out or not. No, okay.
Paused for the team radio, and apologies for any bad language in that team radio. But safety car is sent out once again, and we have Timo Glock and Matthias Ekström both out of the race. We'll see it again in replay, but of course. This is bad news for Matthias Ekström in his points haul for the championship, because he is out and Pascal Wehrlein is running in P2. And Pascal Wehrlein was looking very, very close to being able to conquer Marco Whitman. Timo Glock has walked off in disgust. So thumbs up from Matthias Ekström is okay. Definitely from the radio message that we heard that Timo Glock will feel that he is the aggrieved party in that little coming together. So the front of the car being lifted up, and well, no surprise that race control state that that incident is under investigation. So the car's being lifted up, and now let's see it. So this was the move that Matthias Ekström went for. Well, I'm not sure what to say, really. I'd like to see it again, just to see whether Timo did turn in, whether Timo was aware of the fact that Matthias was there or not. Well, we'll let the investigators decide over that. But both of them. Well, I think the impact was far, far greater for Eki than it was for Timo Glock. Definitely from the radio that we heard, Timo will feel the aggrieved one. There is an argument that like he would have had DRS on the straight. Did he need to make a move there with all his experience? Well, the result of it is that Ecky's championship charge has been dented, it has to be said, because Pascal Wehrlein is running in the race P2. Eduardo Mortara is P7. And Eduardo Mortara going into this race was P2 in the points, and Pascal Wehrlein P3. And Matthias is going to bank nothing. So impatience perhaps. Well, what it has meant is that we have only just over 16.5 minutes of racing left to run in a race that's been affected by 2 safety cars. So as soon as those cars are out of the way, once again the safety car will be allowed in, and it will be a short, sharp burst, that's for sure, to the checkered flag. Just before that incident, Pascal Wehrlein was within 0.3 of the race-leading BMW of Marco Whitman, of course with the benefit of DRS. Last year's winner, Maxime Martin, and down there, P20. So cars continuing to weave from side to side. The threat of the weather, I think, has gone away as the sun absolutely shines bright through the Consmooth window and across the track now. Local time at just ahead of 5 o'clock. So the car between, the incident between and Rockefeller reported to the stewards after the end of the race as Timo Glock's car is hauled away. And until the recovery vehicle and all the debris is cleared up, then the safety car stays out. And once again, Marco Whitman will have to go into defense mode over the hard-charging Pascal Wehrlein. Jamie Green, who of course is P4 in the championship, is P3 on the track. Certainly not out of the equation here either. This could be the best ever finish for Tom Blomqvist as well, who's currently P6. P7 in Zandvoort, but P6 would be his best finish so far for the DTM rookie for 2015. Right, lights out on the safety car. It's coming in this lap. We will go back to racing. And what a thrilling fight to the finish this is going to be between Marco Whitman, Pascal Wehrlein, Jamie Green. Bruno Spangler's up to P4, then it's Daniel Juncker-Deyer, and as I was just mentioning, Tom Blomqvist in P6. So Whitman does his level best to stack them all up and try and get a flyer. He launches it now. Pascal Wehrlein tries to stay with him. Jamie Green also, and Spangler and Daniel Juncker-Deyer. A real concertina effect as they go through the final turn. And we are back away and racing now. 13 minutes left of racing. Jamie Green just taking an eye the inside of Pascal Wehrlein. And Bruno Spangler very, very close to Jamie Green as well. On board the Eduardo Mortara car, chasing down Tom Blomqvist ahead in the BMW. And talking of BMWs, there's the race leader, Marco Whitman. Has to do it all over again from another safety car restart. Whitman, Wehrlein, Green, then it's Spangler, Juncker-Deyer, and Tom Blomqvist. So on board with Pascal Wehrlein now, chasing down the BMW ahead. On the throttle, this run up now to the final turn. No DRS benefit at the moment until that's re-enabled. So it's car natural pace. Gap was 5/10. And actually Wehrlein has pulled a 10th out of him. Tomczyk there with Maximilian Gertz and Paul de Resta. So Tomczyk moving up another place. Chasing down Augusto Farfus now. Maximilian Gertz and Paul de Resta together there. Maxime Martin right at the back, the 20. You can just see him at the back of that train of cars. Adrien Tombe is the man that is, though, right at the back with that damage on the left-hand corner of the car. And there you can see him. That's the reason why he's right at the very, very back now. Ran out wide. And manages to get the car back out onto the track. So 4/10 last time around. Wehrlein just harries him. He really is close to the BMW now. 4/10 last time. 3/10 this time, another 10th. So Whitman knows that he has got to defend and defend hard over the remaining 10 minutes or just under of this race. We're back on board with Pascal Wehrlein. Brilliant shots that we're able to bring you from being on board. Adrien Tombe retires his car. I can see it through the corner of my eye from our comms booth, being put into the garage. So this is the real chase at the front between the champion, Marco Whitman, and Pascal Wehrlein, desperately trying to get on terms. Jamie Green, of course, might just be thinking, well, I'll let these two battle, and once they start battling, that's the time that I can really, really pile the pressure on. Jamie, of course, hugely experienced in the DTM as well. And there we see Adrien Tombe then out of his car. As I say, I mentioned from the corner of my eye, I could see it going into the pit lane and then straight into the garage. So retirement for Adrien Tombe. Right, now Pascal Wehrlein through the gears. It was 3/10 last time around. If anything, I would say Marco Whitman has tried to eke out a little bit more. Truth will be told when they cross the timing line now. Well, and now Pascal Wehrlein, and to that degree Jamie Green as well, have the benefit of DRS. So if Whitman has been defending hard up until this point, he's going to have to defend even harder now, because DRS has been enabled, and that will allow both Pascal Wehrlein and Jamie Green, and they will be able to use that to full effect. So as we pick the cars up now, visibly closer than ever before, Pascal Wehrlein to Marco Whitman. Now what he needs to do is be sensible here and not do a Matthias Ekstrom necessarily, and just be patient, because he'll have the benefit of that DRS over Marco Whitman. On board with him, and he is absolutely tracking that BMW. Jamie Green, of course, is having to defend from Bruno Spangler also, as well as being conscious of the fact that he wants to get on terms with Wehrlein ahead of him. So now this is where Pascal Wehrlein will deploy DRS and deploy just about everything else he possibly can now to try and get on terms with the BMW of Marco Wittmann as they run up towards the final turn now. Which way does he go? In or out? Well, he's on the outside. Tries to outbrake Marco Wittmann. They're side by side as they go through. Wittmann holds on to it for now. Has Pascal Wehrlein got better traction out of that turn? And can Wehrlein dive up the inside now? Well, Wittmann trying to make that BMW as wide as possible. Eduardo Mortara goes for a move on Tom Blomqvist and gets that job done. Nico Muller also trying to do the same. So on board with Eduardo Mortara, who moves up to P6 now. And still Pascal Wehrlein is being denied by Marco Wittmann, and now Jamie Green is right on the back of Pascal Wehrlein, so all of a sudden Pascal Wehrlein having to think about defending as well as attacking. Goes for another look, tries to sell Marco Wittmann a dummy, doesn't quite work. He really is harrying the BMW driver ahead of him. Marco Wittmann, the current champion, being hounded by Pascal Wehrlein in the Mercedes-Benz at the moment. Just over 6 minutes left to run in this race. It's going to be the long run from the second to last turn up that uphill straight where Pascal Wehrlein will try it again now. Last time he went for the outside. Going to do the same again. We're on board with Pascal Wehrlein now. Wittmann holds the inside line, then goes wide. Pascal will try and dive up the inside now, but Marco Wittmann closes that door. So once again, stout defense from Marco Wittmann. Pascal Wehrlein all over the back of the BMW, trying to find a way past. Nico Muller on Tom Blomqvist now for P7. Blomqvist under real pressure from Nico Muller in the Audi. And Gary Paffett's there in P10. So Wehrlein and Wittmann continue to fight tooth and nail. So it's been brilliant defending from Marco Wittmann thus far. Has denied Pascal Wehrlein every opportunity. So Pascal Wehrlein, oh, so close now. And Jamie Green, just for the moment, appears to have shaken off the charge of Bruno Spangler in the BMW, who's running in P4. Then it's Daniel Juncadella, P5. Just the tail stepped out of Marco Wittmann's car just a little bit there as he exited that turn. And that's where Wehrlein really needs to be, on the back of Marco Wittmann, so that he maximizes the effect of the DRS. We're on board with Pascal Wehrlein now. Wittmann does exactly the same again. Dives to the inside now. Wehrlein is going up the inside. Wittmann will try and get the switch back, but I think Wehrlein has got the job done now. He will shut the door. Into turn one now with a new leader. Pascal Wehrlein leads from Marco Wittmann. But now Marco Wittmann will have the benefit of DRS and Pascal Wehrlein will not. So what Wehrlein needs to do is try and build up a little bit of a cushion.
You will have DRS. You will have DRS.
Well, obviously they're listening because almost just as we said it, confirmation to Marco Wittmann that he will have DRS, so he is going to be able to fight back. That was the move on board. Brilliant execution from Pascal Wehrlein. Perhaps a lap later than I thought he would do it, but with just over 3 minutes left to run, of course, what that means is that Pascal has got to defend for less time, and if he can build up just enough of a margin, and if Jamie Green starts really hounding Marco Wittmann now, then Wittmann's focus is going to be on defending from Jamie Green rather than attacking Pascal Wehrlein, and that's exactly as it's playing out right now. As Jamie Green will go for a move, if he possibly can, on Marco Wittmann. Wittmann concentrating on defending from Jamie Green. Pascal Wehrlein, in the meantime, is up the road. Be really interesting as they cross the timing line now to see what the gap is. Wehrlein back to Wittmann. It's 0.8 of a second. Blomqvist now has got Gary Paffett to defend. Paffett having got past Nico Muller. So Paffett up to P8 and desperately wants to get P7. Brilliant from Gary Paffett, who started down there in P20, let's not forget. So some brilliant driving from the Brit, Gary Paffett, who at the moment is up to P8, but is focusing all his attention on getting P7. In the meantime, Jamie Green, who is currently P3, the target is the BMW ahead, and this is all just beautifully played into the hands of Pascal Wehrlein, who's enough of a way up the road now to not be challenged necessarily from Marco Whitman, barring, of course, any mistakes. So Wehrlein leads from Whitman, then it is Jamie Green. And as you can see, the cushion that Pascal Wehrlein has been able to build over Marco Whitman means that the charge from Whitman is not going to come. Instead of which, it's a battle between Whitman and Jamie Green, and to that degree, Bruno Spangler and Daniel Juncadea in there as well. Paffett has disposed of Tom Blomqvist, so therefore moves himself up to P7. Big work to chase down Eduardo Mortara, and I don't think that's going to be a possibility, but from his starting position, what a brilliant drive from Gary Paffett, and this is how he did it. Running up to the final turn, up the inside of Tom Blomqvist, who swiftly shuts the door on Nico Muller, and Gary just dives up the inside. Job done, Gary Paffett moves up to P7. So Wehrlein, Whitman, and then Jamie Green, the 1, 2, 3. Well, the more I think about it, the more that perhaps Pascal Wehrlein, by design, decided to really go for it on Whitman when he did, just so that it was minimizing the time that he would have to defend if Whitman came back at him really, really hard. Well, in the event, Whitman has had to spend his time defending from Jamie Green, rather than focus on attacking Pascal Wehrlein. So, last lap. It's now or never for Jamie Green to go from P3 to P2. So on the pit wall and in the garages, they all look on. Wehrlein last time around with a 1.4 second margin over Marco Whitman, who now is going to have to make that BMW as wide as possible to prevent Jamie Green on a last lap lunge trying to go past and find himself on step 2 of the podium rather than step 3, which is the way the order is at the moment. Wehrlein leads from Marco Whitman, then it is Jamie Green, although perhaps Bruno Spangler is thinking that third step of the podium could be his, and Jamie is going to have to refocus his attention on defending from the BMW bank car of Bruno Spangler. Well, there's just one straight left, and is Spangler going to have a go here, because he's certainly closer to Jamie Green than Jamie is on Marco Whitman. I don't think he's going to be close enough to be able to try, but maybe he is. Indeed so, but is he going to be able to scrub the speed? And Daniel Juncadea is going to go for a move as well. Absolutely incredible, right in the final throes of the race. The order changes and Jamie Green loses out on a podium. It goes Wehrlein, Whitman, Spangler, Green, Juncadea. And as the rest of the cars cross the line, Spangler obviously knew that he'd got the pace in that car, and he went for it. A phenomenal drive from Gary Paffett as well, up to P7. There is Marco Wittmann and Pascal Wehrlein together there. Daniel Juncadella going for a move as well at the same time to see if he could usurp Jamie Green, but it wasn't to be. So in the end, following 2 safety car interventions, the winner is Pascal Wehrlein, but here's the Spangler move. Just looking to see if that was assisted in any way by Marco Wittmann. No, it was just sheer pace. DRS, of course, but Jamie had that as well. And then Daniel Juncadella trying to sneak up the inside as well. So great driving from Bruno Spangler to deny Jamie Green a podium place. So Wehrlein, Whitman, and Spangler. Uli Fritz is with Ollie Settler now.
First, a fantastic move. Then the win, another one for Pascal Wehrlein. He's the strongest guy in the field and he's leader in the championship. How good is that after what happened at Spielberg?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's incredible for us at the moment, and they're just great to see how Pascal got his motivation back after what happened in Spielberg. So it's showed an insane performance today, which just incredible.
What can we see tomorrow?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, the car was quite well here, and yeah, we just need to get it right in qualifying. That's all in DTM. The gaps are so tight, so you really need to nail it down in qualifying, and if you can do that, then you can fight for a race win here.
Congratulations, and back to you, Dave.
Thanks very much, Ollie. Well done for getting in touch with Uli Fritz straight away. Pascal Wehrlein taking the win from Marco Wittmann P2, Bruno Spangler P3. Then it was Jamie Green, Daniel Juncadella, Eduardo Mortara, Gary Paffett P7. That was Tom Blomqvist P8, Nico Muller P9, and Mike Rockenfeller rounded out the top 10. And the rest of the order there, as you can see, with Antonio Felix da Costa P11, then Robert Wickens P12 before that page of the timing screen from 13 through. So Jens Marquardt on the left-hand side there talking to Ingo Leibrink from BMW. They've got 2 cars on the podium, Marco Wittmann and Bruno Spangler. Of course, they'd like to see Marco Wittmann on the top step, but this man will be as he makes his way out of the Mercedes-Benz. After huge disappointment in Austria, great celebrations here in Moscow. Pascal Wehrlein wins race 1 in DTM here at Moscow for 2015. Pascal Wehrlein, 119 points. Matthias Ekstrom, 111, with Eduardo Mortara, 106, and Jamie Green, 93. So the top 4 in the championship, the way it looks on screen for you right now. And Matthias Ekstrom will be ruining the effort he had on Timo Glock, because if it had stayed put even, or got past Glock, then he would have still led the championship, but instead now the championship has changed. So, and there once again Martin Tomczyk, and behind the podium preparations going on for Bruno Spangler there. So Manfred Sandbichler from Hankook Tyres. There's Pascal Wehrlein being congratulated once again by Marco Whitman, and indeed Manfred Sandbichler, who you can see there passing on the Hankook baseball cap, as of course he would. Okay, here's slow-mos to the top 3 then. Bruno Spangler, P3. Marco Whitman, P2. And the winner, Pascal Wehrlein. Let's head up to the podium now then. National anthem now for Pascal Wehrlein.
Отучал национальной лиги в Германии.
So all the announcements being made by Sergei, the incredibly enthusiastic and great fun Russian commentator and presenter here. So Mr. Kim Yong-woo, the General Director of Hankook Tire Russia, makes the trophy presentation to Pascal Wehrlein. Mr. Thomas Berthold, the soccer world champion 1990, presents the team trophy then. Vitaly Petrov, a former Formula 1 and DTM driver, makes the trophy presentation to Marco Whitman. Great to see Vitaly back here. And Gary Paffett looks on as Evgenia Astakova, the director of the Moscow Raceway, makes the trophy presentation to Bruno Spangler. And we're very proud of the Moscow Raceway. It's a fantastic facility. So they hold their trophies, and gorgeous trophies they are as well. The outline of this fantastic Moscow Raceway. Who's going to win that race? It's Wehrlein. Yes. By some measure, it has to be said. And everyone backstage at the podium getting absolutely mullered. So Bruno Spangler back up on the podium then. After that audacious move right at the very end, but it worked perfectly. That look of delight on Pascal Wehrlein's face. Well, he'll feel that's equally deserved following the disservice at Austria. And the noise from the team as they bang on the Parc Fermé boards there. Marco Whitman then, it's P2. Ollie Sittler's with him.
Yeah, was Pascal Wehrlein too strong? Because he opened up in the corner.
Well, I think we had a really good start. Just after start was a safety car, which gave me maybe a little disadvantage to really take advantage of the good start of the good first lap. And after it was quite difficult to hold him, I have to say. He was really strong, especially in the low speed corners. He was able to close up, and even if he passed me, I tried to stay in the DRS window, but that was not for a long time possible. So at the end he was quicker than us. Of course could be a bit more happier if I could win the race, but actually to be on the podium is also something nice. Scored quite a good amount of points. Now we need to analyze for tomorrow if we can gain some little performance out of our package to get back the win.
We will see. Good luck, and thanks, Marco Whitman.
Cheers, Ollie. Well done. Getting hold of Marco Whitman then, who took P2. Very honest about it, that he wasn't able to keep it to Pascal Wehrlein in the end, and Pascal very, very strong. And that package, and I'd also say the package that Gary Paffett delivered as well, when you consider where he started and finished P7. Mercedes have got some strengths here, and that's been proven today. Uli Fritz has said that they need to improve their qualifying performance across the brand. Pascal did a fine job in qualifying, of course, but he was probably the only Mercedes driver that Uli Fritz was satisfied with in terms of their qualifying performance. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Another qualifying session. Bruno Spangler is next with Ollie Sittler.
What a race, Bruno. You gained your podium in the last corner.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting race today for the fans because there was a lot of overtaking, a lot of things happened, and after the medium qualifying we had this morning, I'm very happy to be P3. My team did a great job, and in the last, during the race after the last safety car, I could see that Jamie Green was doing a few mistakes, and he did a couple of mistakes before the back straight in the last lap, and I was really close, and I could use the DRS and overtake him on the outside. My car was pretty good on the brakes, and I could make the move, and was one of the most interesting moves in my DTM career so far, because it was in the last corner, in the last lap. That's always fun. So I'm happy to be on the podium for the team. 2 and 3, Marco and me. It's very good for BMW after the difficult weekend we had in Spielberg. So it's positive.
You're gonna have a party tonight, I guess.
I don't think so, because we have a race tomorrow. If we wouldn't race tomorrow, yes, we would have a party, but we have a race tomorrow, so we have to see. The Mercedes guys, they were very fast, even though they were heavier than us. So, it was a tough race. I think the safety cars helped us a bit to keep the pace. It was pretty tough for us generally, but we did the best we could, and I'm happy for the team to get some good points for them. BMW is working so hard, and even though the times are difficult in the moment, it's a good point, and I'm looking forward to the race tomorrow. Who knows what can happen tomorrow? We have to keep our heads down and keep working hard, because tomorrow is a tough day in front of us.
So good luck for tomorrow, and back to you, Dave.
Thanks very much, Ollie, and well done, Bruno. That was a brilliant move right on the last lap. Let's see it again. Here we go. And something that we hadn't noticed was that Jamie Green had made a few mistakes, and Bruno said that the car was really, really strong on the brakes, and that really assisted in him having the confidence to go around the outside of Jamie Green and to take that P3 place away from him. Here's the build-up of that once again, and Jamie Green tries to protect the inside line, but Bruno just around the outside. And so confident to be able to brake there, and very nearly lost out to Juncker Dea. Pascal Wehrlein now, the race winner, is with Ollie Sittler.
By far the strongest car in the field. You got the victory, and that after what happened at Spielberg, and your new points leader. How is that for you?
Yeah, I'm feeling really, really great, and I'm really happy. The race was nearly perfect. Without the 2 safety cars, maybe our gap would be even bigger, and I could have overtaken Whitman a bit earlier, but still our performance was really strong, and I have to thank the team because after Spielberg we had a hard time. I had a hard time, and that's the best way to come back.
And you're confident for tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. But you also have to see that tomorrow is a new day. Everything can happen, and just take it as a completely new day and enjoy this day.
So we'll see. Good luck for tomorrow. Thanks, and back to you, Dave.
Cheers, Ollie. Well done. Pascal Wehrlein then, very measured in his prospects for tomorrow. He says it's a brand new day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. In the Drivers' Championship, he does now, though, by 8 points lead over Matthias Ekström. Matthias will be ruining the perhaps error of his ways, which has put him P2 in the championship now. Eduardo Mortara P3 and Jamie Green P4. Keep an eye on Marco Wittmann and Gary Paffett creeping up there in P5 and P6 in the championship as well. But Pascal Wehrlein did absolutely everything that he needed to do today, and that is put himself at the top step of the podium, and a top step of the championship as well. Final words are with Ollie Sittler. Until tomorrow.
Thanks, Dave. And we have seen a really strong race. We have seen a strong Mercedes performance, and we have seen 2 BMWs on the podium. Audi, well, has to fight back tomorrow in the Sunday's race, and we'll see what's going to be there. So I say goodbye for today. See you tomorrow.